This is the Africanist Press podcast service.
Brought to you from the Northwestern University Library's vocal booth.
Coming to you every weekend from the banks of Lake Michigan in Chicago
to the Manu River Basin in West Africa.
This podcast is sponsored by Northwestern University's Program of African Studies.
This podcast is about accountability,
gender equality,
youth empowerment,
climate change,
and democracy.
Greetings, fellow Sierra Leoneans. My name is Cherno Alphaba, and me na the editor-in-chief of the Africanist Press. Few days ago, we produced a special episode of the Africanist Press podcast in which we inform with listeners around the world, say, the politicians in Sierra Leone, the politicians of the APC and SLPP will occupy parliament. They try for secretly pass into law an abortion bill. That the bill, if them pass them into law, will legalize abortion. It will make abortion legal in Sierra Leone. But most importantly, we inform the public, say, these parliamentarians don't decide for pass this law secretly without the knowledge of the public. That people across Sierra Leone, from Freetown to Makeni, to Kono, to Kenema, Bo, Moyamba, Pujeun, Putloko, and Cambia, all around Sierra Leone, nor even Sabise, the politicians of the APC and the SLPP who are currently in parliament, and the politicians of the SLPP and APC will constitute the illegal regime of Madabiu. They now try for legalized abortion in the country. We talk about that and we ask a couple of questions. We include, number one, say, if them politicians here believe, say, the law where they want for pass, the abortion law where they want for pass, now law where they protect the interests of women, now law where they protect and advance the reproductive rights of women and girls in Sierra Leone, why did they decide to secretly make a bill and take the bill to Parliament and even want for pass them into law in less than 1 day without a debate? Number two, we ask how many people across Sierra Leone, especially people in market centers, women, market women in places like Godrich, Funkia, Congo Market, Kuto Road Market, to Salad Ground and Dovecot and Waterloo, Calbaton, right across the country, know, say, the politicians of the APC and SLPP will currently occupy the Parliament of the Republic of Sierra Leone. They try for make abortion legal. And if them people are not sabi, say this thing they happen, why them politicians here decide for make this law in a secret way, pass law secretly? So since we raise these questions, we don't understand, say, the parliamentarians, the SLPP and APC politicians, and the current cabinet led by Madabiu, we include the vice president, the newly appointed Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Alpha Cisse, we will now work for the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, and the Health Minister of Stendembi, also a former employee of the United States Centers for Disease Control, CDC. We try for make this lawyer secret way, don't decide for pause, for hold on force. And Parliament don't even adjourn, say, then go wait until January 10, we then come out holiday, then come back. But we want for inform una say, now the expose what we expose, the fact say there is a secret arrangement in motion for pass a bill into law, now it make the parliamentarian and don't drag them foot. And the questions still remain, why did politicians of the SLPP and the APC will occupy cabinet, illegally occupy cabinet, and illegally they call themselves members of parliament without the production of an election result since the elections of June 2023, don't decide, say, then for change the Sierra Leonean laws, change the constitution, and pass law secretly, will go affect the entire country without the knowledge of the people of the country, both at home and abroad. So we talk, say, if them believe, say, the laws that we in the try for pass on are laws that way they advance the economy, advance the interests of the population of Sierra Leone. Why are they acting in secret? So since we produced that episode, we don't also notice, say, apart from the fact, say, Parliament don't decide, say, they go drag them foot or don't adjourn all their hearings until January 10 after the new year, the small people, then they Madabio in small midgets, then now don't they go on radio, they try for defend and lie to the people of Sierra Leone, continuously lie. Apart from the fact that they hide for do this, now they don't begin lie about what in this law where they want pass they about. In fact, then they call and say, two things they don't talk. They say the law, like a Safe Motherhood Act, in fact, not to abortion, they talk saying for protect women there. That for make sure say they reduce the die woman in the left and born, that then they protect belly woman and picking them for making them not die. They try to provide effective health care. That's the law they about. That's a lie. Bold-faced lie. That's on one side. The second lie where they don't lie, and talk say, the current law, the abortion law in the Kerguna Parliament, are the same law where Anes Kuruma they be one for passed 2015, where Parliament passed in 2015, Anes Kuruma reject her, inaugurate signer into law. They say that law, that bill, they, nine themselves reactivate and can go back in the Parliament. Then they back now another big lie. So today we want to spend some time for show the difference between the 2015 law where Anes Kuruma they under the own time they be one for pass, the abortion law where Anes Kuruma they be one for pass, and this 2024 law where Julius Madabio and a own group of cabinet people want for pass. We'll talk about a group of cabinet people. Now Julius Madabio, in Attorney General, Minister of Justice Alpha Sise, Austin Demby, the Health Minister, the Vice President, the Minister of Information, where you get purposeful, and the Communication Minister, the Gender Minister, the entire group of politicians who don't decide, say, their own responsibility for use the suffering of the Salone people there for advance their political and economic agenda. In simple terms, when it comes to abortion, they use the suffering of women, pimping the struggle and oppression of women for their own economic and financial benefit and for advance their political agenda and political aspirations. That is what the so-called feminists are doing. Pimping the struggle of women, the condition of women, using it as a financial incentive. We don't mention that few days ago. Today we want for deepen that conversation as we'll continue for doing in the upcoming days. First and foremost, before we move forward, we want for address this first lie. Say, the so-called Safe Motherhood Act is not an abortion bill. In the last episode, we read clause 9, 1 and 2. We talk about the right of women there, we then get belay for decide whether they want to keep the belay or not. And this include married women, unmarried women, girls of any age, and regardless of the circumstances of the pregnancy, whether the pregnancy is the result of sexual assault or not, felonious circumstances or not. If the woman decides, say, I want to keep the belly, you get right for going to hospital. The hospital tell the doctor, say, I want to pull the belly. And according to the young law, the doctor not get right for talk, say, no, I know they do them. As long as the woman in your own consent, the doctor is obligated under the law for provide the abortion service to the individual who requests such a service. If the doctor refuses to do that, according to Madabio, the young law, it could be punished. And the punishment now 5,000 leones, new leones fine. If not the old leon, 5 million leon fine. And 12-month jail term. And including any other punishment where the government feels say that for add on top of it. We did not talk about that last week. Clause 9, 1 and 2 alone establish the fact, say, the bill that they are calling Safe Motherhood Bill and abortion bill. They no columns abortion bill because they don't want to make one say an abortion bill and they try for legalize. Which brings us to the question, why are they hiding the fact that they are passing an abortion bill? If we want to pass abortion law, we want to make abortion legal, we want to legalize abortion, give women the right for terminate pregnancy, pull belly, if you don't get belly, and make them compulsory or mandatory for hospital them for administer abortion service in Sierra Leone. When I believe say that day in the interest of the woman there, that now something where they advance reproductive rights. We not talk them publicly. We not hold public conversations all over the country. We not go to a mosque, Una go to church, una go to the market then, una hold meeting and publicly tell woman they say, una they legalize abortion. Make the woman then know, and the whole country know. Make the imam then know, make the pastor then know, make the medicine man themselves know. Say, now that's what I want for do. Then a conversation go happen in the country. That is what democracy is about. Public policy and legislation, not for the public. That's why it's called public policy. That is why it's called national laws. When you are making laws, you are making public policy, you are making it for the public, for the population within a given country. There is nowhere in the world where laws and public policies are a secret affair. The question still remains, why are the politicians who are currently occupying parliament and the cabinet, the governance institutions of Sierra Leone, we hijack governance in Sierra Leone, decide, say, they go change the national laws of Sierra Leone, introduce new laws, will go affect the rights of women and girls, and by extension, the entire country, without the knowledge of the population for whom such a law is being made in the first place. So we don't talk about that. So by reading Clause 9 alone, Clause 9, 1 and 2, A and B of the current bill in front of Parliament, you go know say the act, the bill that they are calling Safe Motherhood and Reproductive Act is nothing but an abortion bill. We will come for talk about the history of them. Beside this thing beginning to today, in fact. We go quote conference document and speeches made by Mother Bill way back in 2022. We talk about the decision or the program for legalized abortion. So if you're not the talk and tell international organizations and foreign governments and foreign organizations say then they try for legalized abortion, why are they afraid to tell the people of Sierra Leone that that is what they are doing? Or then just they talk to the international organizations because they are giving them money and hide it from the people of Sierra Leone, smuggle law on the heads of the people of Sierra Leone. Is that how you run a government of whatever nature? So that are the first lie. If you then tell us, say the Safe Motherhood and Reproductive Bill has nothing to do with abortion, they are lying to you. And the question is, why should they lie to you? Why should they hide it? The second lie that we want to dismantle is the claim that the Ernest Bai Koroma abortion bill of 2015, now in the recycle, now in the can go back in parliament. Now a lie. The law of 2015, the abortion bill of 2015, and the 2024 Mother Bill, Safe Motherhood Act and Safe Motherhood and Reproductive Bill are two different documents. In fact, the length of the documents are not the same. The content of the documents are not the same. For Ernest Bai Koroma, 2015 document entitled now the Safe Abortion Act 2015. And it says, being an act to prevent maternal death and injury, safeguard reproductive rights, and determine the circumstances and conditions under which pregnancies may be terminated, and to provide for other related matters. Then Ernest Bai Koroma the Yun. Ernest Bai Koroma the Yun law, in fact, entitled the Safe Abortion Act of 2015. Then no make no pretense, they don't even hide and they don't use other language for hide. They say, will they make law for abortion? In fact, this now been a member of parliament of the APC woman. Now been introduce this law. We can't do that. Whereas Mother Bill the own law, now the law officers department, and Mother Bill then the Sidom design the own law, then call on Safe Motherhood and Reproductive Act. They don't use the word abortion at the title because they don't want to make una no saying that. In the case of Ernest Bai Koroma in the APC, then call on the Safe Abortion Act. They put abortion at the title. And in the introduction, they talk say, being an act to prevent maternal death and injury, safeguard reproductive rights, and determine the circumstances and conditions under which pregnancies may be terminated, and to provide for other related matters. So right there, you see say, Ernest Bai Koroma, they no pretend say, now other bill other than abortion, then put on the direct. So for Mother Bill the Yun, they say, how they call the Yun? The Safe Motherhood and Reproductive Health Care Act 2024. So you see, they don't use the word abortion, or they hide that. then hide them. And then talk say the purpose of the act now for provide a framework for the protection and advancement of safe motherhood and reproductive health rights for every person. B, create an enabling environment for the reduction of maternal and child morbidity and mortality. C, ensure access to quality safe motherhood and reproductive health care services throughout Sierra Leone. So that then say they own build the, but also then can hide the abortion thing now. Now also then define what in reproductive act mean, reproductive safe motherhood mean. Then define the term safe motherhood and say what it mean. I go look for them just now and read and to now. But from the title of the two documents, you don't know say for us, where they tell you say na Anes by Kuruma in 2015 law, where Anes by Kuruma be reject. Na in den go na parliament, first and foremost, na lie then lie. The Anes by Kuruma law clearly get na your title say Safe Abortion Act of 2015. Then why are you then say Safe Motherhood and Reproductive Healthcare Act. So they hide the word abortion. But looks at them then define what in safe motherhood mean under the list of this is page 5 of the own act. They say sexual and reproductive health means a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being in all matters relating to the reproductive system, where people are able to have a satisfying and safe sex life, the capability to reproduce, and the freedom to decide if, when, and how to do so. They say that sexual and reproductive health. Now, sexual and reproductive health services, according to them, means healthcare services offered, arranged, or furnished for the purpose of maternal health, neonatal health, preventing pregnancy, prevent belly, terminating a pregnancy, terminating a pregnancy, managing pregnancy loss, or improving maternal health and birth outcomes, including care for preconception, contraception, maternity care, intrapartum, postnatal, termination of pregnancy, infertility, etc., etc. Then they say termination of pregnancy, they also define what the termination of pregnancy means. They say termination of pregnancy means a procedure or process of ending a pregnancy. Unsafe termination of pregnancy means a procedure for terminating pregnancy carried out either by a person lacking the necessary skills or in an environment that does not conform to minimal medical standards or both. So you see say, where they call it safe motherhood and safe reproductive healthcare services and define and say it include for puel belle and for do abortion. So the difference between the two documents are the fact that in 2015, the politician that will be make that law, they not pretend self say they want for make law for abortion and talk and direct for say we they make law for legalize abortion. Then 2015, APC then time, and an APC honorable woman, member of parliament, I been day before that law day. Now, when Mother Bio then come, then don't tell their own international people then for say, then go, then they respect women, and they use women, then condition the exploitation of women, the same way Fatima Bio don't enough before for say, hands of our girls, they use hands of our girls for corruptly accumulate wealth. We don't show that corruption there in the Africanist press. In fact, any day we will produce new evidence of the ongoing use of the rights of girls, the condition of women, pimping the struggles of women for their own material and political objectives. So now the same thing now. It is the reason why perhaps, or why they are even hiding the idea that they are passing an abortion law. It's abortion law. The safe motherhood, according to them, is synonym is abortion, the termination of pregnancy. So how then come about for talk say abortion is equal to safe motherhood is subject to a different debate, conceptual debate. But now we want for correct the idea say the bill before parliament is not an abortion bill. Now lied in the lie. The so-called Safe Motherhood and Reproductive Healthcare Service Act or bill now the same as abortion. In short name, now abortion. They don't want to use the word abortion because now go nothing and they try for do. in 20, and that law, they will don't go to the parliament, then this day, yeah, secretly can go to the parliament, they want secretly pass, not to the same as the 2015 law. In 2015, the title, na Safe Abortion Bill, whereas then what I call the Safe Motherhood and Reproductive Healthcare Act. So anybody telling us say the two law, then the two law, and it's by Kuruma yun and Mother Bill yun, na the same, na lie they like you, na they try for deep una, they try for deceive una. And then we wonder why, if they actually believe they are defending the interests of women, they are standing up for the reproductive rights of women, why do you decide to act in such a deceptive way? Why the secrecy? Why the deception? Why the lie? So when I think about that question, and then we want for pause now a little bit. When we come back, we go talk about the differences between safe motherhood and abortion. Within a safe motherhood and within an abortion. And also, within make the 2015 law different from Mother Bill and Yun law. And within make Mother Bill and Yun Abortion Act, that is secret. And not only that, for talk say, this so-called Safe Motherhood Act has been in the making way back in the year 2022. There was even a huge conference held in Freetown, convened under the umbrella of Purposeful as the coordinating institution in Sierra Leone. We bring together women activists or feminist activists all around Africa. Where Mother Bill even announced at that conference, say, in cabinet don't approve an abortion, the right to abortion in cabinet. They will carry and go to parliament. So make we take a break now. We'll come back. We'll begin talk about these differences between safe motherhood and abortion.
I write a poem to feel the freedom of time. Time is yesterday, today, tomorrow. I write a poem trying to experience the source of my being, waiting for the next revelation or inspiration to write a poem. I write a poem so I can read, I can hear what I feel about my poem. The ink flows, my mind spiraling through the corridors of time. I write a poem and feel that my poem can create, can awaken change. I write a poem and hope for life goodness. The poem and poet must be one. I write a poem and smile, laugh, cry. I feel like I'm writing a poem to feel like I can write a poem. I write a poem and remind myself of Atlas holding up the world, or maybe a sage trying to save the world. I write a poem only because I have a pen, a book with nothing written, a mind that wanders in space and time, a life, a feeling of love, of joy for you who would read my poem. I write a poem so that poetry can be the poet's weapon of freedom.
Well, before the break, we don't talk about two things. One, the fact say we Mother Bill and the ministers them and the members of parliament from the APC and SLPP, they talk say the law where they want pass now for protect women, then a safe motherhood, now for make sure say woman the way they go born, may they not die and born, and for take care of Pekin and for advance the reproductive rights of women. Now lie in the lie. That the bill where they try for pass, the law where they try for pass, now law where they make abortion legal. We don't talk about that, and we don't read the title of the bill, and we don't also show what they mean by safe motherhood inside their own law, and then define it. They say it include the right to abortion. In other words, they try for legalize abortion, but another one tell us say then they pass law for make abortion legal. The question then becomes why then they hide? If they believe say the law, they in the interest of the rights of women, they protect women then, they advance them, amid them, then girl picking them, and then young woman them, with sister them, auntie them, and wives, and the women of Sierra Leone. If they believe say this law, they in the interest of the women of Sierra Leone, why are they hiding it? Why they not call them abortion law? And why did they try for pretend and lie back, say, even though we don't say that abortion law, they try for going on radio and they lie, say, nothing like abortion law inside the bill. One lie. The second lie what we don't expose, now the fact say, the talk when they talk say, the bill where they can go to parliament at the same 2015 bill where an Eskroma being reject, now they can go back in a parliament and lie. Because an Eskroma, the own law, entitled the name of that bill day, and this current bill, completely different. We don't even read the title of that bill day. The by Kuroma, the APC, the bill where they can go to parliament of 2015, then call it the Safe Abortion Act of 2015. Whereas Mother Bill then abortion law, then decide for call it Safe Motherhood and Reproductive Healthcare Service Act. Then hide. But then inside the law, then define safe motherhood for mean abortion. Another difference between Anes by Kuruma, the own law, and Mother Bill, the own law, now the fact that Anes by Kuruma, in fact, they not hide, say, the bill when they pass, now for abortion. Then say, abortion services may be provided during the first 12 weeks of the gestation of a pregnant female who so request after counseling using the World Health Organization. So then talk say, where woman get belly, up to 3 months, the woman get right for puel the belly. And then talk about the most important side, we then talk, now the fact say, we then say, subject to subsection 3, no healthcare provider shall be under any legal duty to directly participate in abortion services if the healthcare provider has a conscientious objection to provide abortion services. Then a 5.1, section 5, subsection 1, or clause 5.1 under Anes by Kuruma, the own law of 2015, then talk say, not to by force for make any doctor decide for provide abortion to any woman we request them. That if the doctor say in religion not allow them for do abortion or you get any other reason we make they perform abortion, not to by force, for performer, for help anybody for do abortion. In the case of Mother Bill then talk say the own law say if doctor decides say woman go to you say want for make you help her for puel the belly or do abortion, you the doctor, the healthcare provider, you refuse to do that, you go down commit a crime, then go accuse you of discrimination. You don't refuse to provide a service where the law say for provide. And if they then convict you, you will go jail for 12 months, that is 1 year, or then fine you 5,000 new leon. In the old leon, the old money now 5 million. Or both fine and jail and any other punishment where the law, where the government want for put ahead. Say, for example, if you're in a healthcare provider, belle woman come to you say, I want pull the belly. I want pull me belly. I want make you end the pregnancy. Then you talk, say, no, your religion not allow you for do am, or your cultural beliefs not allow you for do am. That means say you don't pull the law. If you then carry go to court, you then go jail, or then fine you 5 million, old leon, or both jail and fine, and they can even say, in addition to that one, they will withdraw you medical license. You know, practice medicine again because you don't discriminate against somebody who request abortion service. So that's the difference between the two law them. This is why we are saying the Mother Bill people are not for hide, say they want pass abortion law. Make them tell the people of Sierra Leone, the woman them, the girl picking them, the mommy them, the pastor them, the imam them, the traditional healer them, and everybody in the country say that they pass a law for make abortion legal. If them believe say that in the interest of women them, in the interest of the country, that for protect women them and for advance the reproductive rights of women, then they try for advance safe motherhood, let them provide the bill to the public. May them make the copy of the bill available to the public so people will see what in them put inside the bill. And then make them also provide the Safe Abortion Act of 2050 where Anes by Kuruma be reject. Make them see the difference between the two bills. In fact, the length of the bill not the same. The provisions are not the same. This one not even get punishment provisions for somebody who refuse to administer abortion services, whereas the other one not only get jail time, even get undefined punishment that the state will want to impose on anybody who supposedly discriminate or refuse to provide abortion services to a patient who need them. So again, make I repeat what I talked in the previous audio. We are not debating whether an abortion law should be passed or not. We just want for talk's sake. If the government believe in transparency and accountability, they cannot make legislation a secret affair. They cannot make this law a secret affair. And for telling us, say, this thing not to way, then plan overnight. Then don't they plan for pass this abortion law 2 years ago. In fact, on the 1st of July, 2022, Madabio announced during a conference that was held in Freetown, the conference that was called the 10th Africa Conference on Sexual Health and Rights. And the theme of that conference was accelerating the elimination of sexual and gender-based violence in Africa. And this was held in Freetown from the 27th of June to the 1st of July, 2022. We go on to the content of that conference and waiting and say they achieve in that conference. But I just want to quote now something. From the press coverage of that conference, then talk says Sierra Leone's president, Julius Maada Bio, Friday, the 1st of July, 2022, announced that the presidential cabinet had approved a bill decriminalizing abortion. Maada Bio tell the one whole world at that conference, they say, in cabinet, don't approve inside the cabinet a bill will decriminalize abortion. The bill will overturn a law, according to them, that has prohibited abortion since 1861. Then quote Maada Bio in statement at the conference where it talks, at a time when sexual and reproductive health rights for women are either being overturned or threatened, we are proud that Sierra Leone can once again lead with progressive reforms. My government has unanimously approved a safe motherhood bill that will include a range of critical provisions to ensure health and dignity of all girls and women of reproductive age in this country. But since 2022, we Maada Bio make this statement during the 10th annual conference on sexual health and rights. We then claim say that conference included 90 delegates from 41 countries who were supposedly present, and them get small activists, them UN agencies. And the goal of the conference, according to them, was to build understanding to end domestic violence against women. In fact, it was hosted under the umbrella of Purposeful, the organization that is led by, or that is supposedly co-founded by our current Minister of Information, who is supposedly a gender or feminist activist. So we don't talk about many across Africa. This is not a new thing. There's a historic evidence of feminist activists who've been using the condition of women, the oppression of women, the oppression of girls, the plight, the deplorable condition of women to advance their own material and political interest. And this is one such example. In the past, we don't talk about how Fatima Bio, the commercialized gender violence, the pimp, the struggle of women for their own material benefit. So when I go to the website of the 10th Africa Conference on Sexual Health and Rights, and you will see what we're talking about. According to them, what the conference achieved was that it brought together 950 participants from 41 countries. According to them, 51% of the people who attended the conference were between 15 to 24 years old, and that it had 28 partners and collaborators who included Purposeful, the organization. So when I talk about conflict of interest here and the meandering of these U.S. proxies of the U.S. Embassy who are in the current regime of Maada Bio, the illegal regime that was constituted following the disputed elections of June 2023. But they also claim the conference in question had 60-plus sessions with global leading change makers and campaigners. They had, according to them, live participatory grant making with on-the-spot funds. People were giving money on the spot. And the Sierra Leone cabinet, the highlight of the conference, according to them, was that the Sierra Leone cabinet announcement backing a Safe Motherhood and Reproductive Health Act, which will open up access to safe and legal abortion. So 2 years ago, they don't even talk say the so-called Safe Motherhood and Reproductive Act, the bill where they want pass, was going to open safe access to safe and legal abortion, for legalized abortion. The overview in the literature of the conference said spanning 6 days, including a Girl Summit and Youth Pre-Conference, the 10th Africa Conference on Sexual Health and Reproductive Rights saw purposeful bring together participants from across the globe in feminist solidarity to mobilize history in the making through pivotal dialogue, collective action, and force for change. It is with heartfelt gratitude to all those who worked to make this landmark convening possible. So we can trace, there are many areas we can trace this meandering. So the interesting thing you have to note is the funding for this conference. And the chain of organizations listed as the sponsors and partners include AfriCell, the US Finance Telecommunications Company, EU, UNFPA, AYV, purposeful as number one, UBA, a chain of other organizations were involved. The total cost of running the conference, according to them, was $1,395,000. The total direct cost is $850,000, total indirect cost $545,000. You can look at this at the website of the conference. So this investment is today generating, for the passage of this law, a World Bank funding, among others, of $80 million has been earmarked by the World Bank, a fund that will be made available to Sierra Leone for three main things. One, get to do with addressing the question of electricity, for me them pass a new electricity act. We will reform the existing electricity act with them being passed for privatized NPA and all of that. The second law will be a reform on the Child Rights Act. We go also bring in this whole idea of bondo business, for make bondo business an illegal thing. And most importantly, the bill under discussion, the Safe Motherhood Act, which will legalize abortion. So then get three things on the agenda. The legalization of abortion. Second, a process to make bondo business illegal. The third thing we then get on the agenda now the reform of the Electricity Act, the change of the electricity law. We will open up and legalize the energy sector. We don't already become a cash cow for multinational corporations. We don't only talk about that, Milile Energy, the energy cartel. So we are dealing with two cartels here. One energy cartel that involve corporations and multinational companies under the leadership of Kande Yumkela, who have been using the so-called idea of clean energy electrification as a mechanism for enhanced corruption. We don't talk about that from Anes Baikuruma time to now. And up to the point of the privatization of Shabro Island. And the second cartel, now this group of feminist and gender activists, where they use the condition of women for generate money and advance their own economic and material interest. There are many other cartels that have been evolving in Sierra Leone, pimping the poverty of Sierra Leoneans for their own material and political agenda. The commercialization of the poverty reduction strategy paper, the commercialization of the development agenda of Sierra Leone for enhanced corruption and accumulate wealth for politicians and their corporate allies and small NGOs. That's what we're talking about. So we don't set aside these lies about the Safe Motherhood Act of being just about reproductive rights. No, it's about abortion, it's central objective. And the brief highlight was Agiso, quoting newspapers like The Guardian, who have been talking about Mother Bio's abortion bill way back in 2022, to the extent that they held this conference, this All Africa conference that was held in Freetown in late June to early July, where Mother Bio announced that the cabinet has now unanimously agreed to put forward a bill to Parliament, to take a bill to Parliament that will legalize abortion. Now for sure, when I say, these processes done there in the making between the politicians, the network of gender and feminist activists who've been pimping the struggle of Sierra Leonean women for their own benefit, and the international organizations who see Planned Parenthood as a multi-million-dollar enterprise. That is why they are talking about this situation in secret, hide them into language, ambiguous language, and try for make it into law and impose them on people in the name of advancing women's right, reproductive right, protecting women. Now, if they really care about reproductive rights, they really care about protecting women, pregnant women, they will build more hospitals. In the last 5 years, we will have witnessed more hospitals built across Sierra Leone. But what did not happen? Electricity is not available in a saloon. For the last 5 years, U.S. Development Finance Corporation and its own proxy organizations, Milile Energy, don't load up to $1 billion of debt on Sierra Leoneans for the provision of social services ranging from electricity to healthcare, public transportation, and all of this, with no services available. No efficient and effective public transport system, no healthcare, broken healthcare, no electricity, no clean and safe drinking water. Those are the issues that generate safe motherhood. If you want to make woman and get beled and go born safe, build hospital them, provide medicine them, train doctors them. But you have a country where political appointees like the nutritionist of the president is earning salaries that are 10 times, 15 times more than a senior nurse, and you talk about safe motherhood. You have a situation where the nutritionist is earning 2 times, 4 times more salary than the lecturer in a university. Why do you have people with so-called PhDs in public service than they can be as political appointees and they can work in the universities to train nurses and train doctors? Because university lecturers are not paid. The universities are poorly equipped. You have, for example, across the universities of Sierra Leone, where people who are serving 80% of the lecturers in our universities do not have terminal degrees in the areas that they are teaching. Now, would I then get bachelor's degree holders teaching bachelor's degrees, master's degree holders teaching master's degrees? But I mean, that is the kind of environment where you're talking about human capital development. It is the environment with broken institutions, no qualified staff, and you're talking about safe motherhood in an environment where nurses and doctors are not even regularly paid, talk less of better paid, where politicians and political appointees with no qualifications are earning 10 times more than salaries of doctors and nurses. We don't talk about this, we only talk about that. We showed the salary disparities across the board. Salary disparities between political appointees with no qualifications and nurses and doctors. We showed salary disparities between healthcare workers and security sector workers. We show salary disparities between electoral commission staff, where drivers, electoral commission drivers, are earning 2 times, 3 times more salaries than even nurses. If we care about the welfare of women, we care about pregnant women, we care about reducing the highest maternal and infant mortality death rates, you will build hospitals. You will provide efficient and effective healthcare system. You will have ambulances, real ambulances. You will have ambulatory services. You will have primary healthcare facilities. You will have a robust healthcare system, not a law that is trying to legalize abortion in a country where there are no efficient and effective healthcare system, where we have a shortage of qualified healthcare professionals. Even those who are qualified do not have the conducive environment to work in. And this is why we hide. Because when I believe, say, really the interventions when they make now for change the health landscape and improve the health landscape, we're not going to hide. Because we deal with a government where even when they sign agreements for debts, for our debts when they come into the country, they even publicize it. So why are you passing a law if you believe this law is really in the interest of reproductive rights and protecting our women, protecting our sisters, protecting our mothers in the country? You will not hide it from them. So we want for address these lies and open up the conversation. Now, Parliament said they don't go recess for the holiday. Then we want for pass these laws, then Kukujumuku. They have 3 laws in the making. The abortion law is one. A child right amendment process where the gender ministry is trying to smuggle into law a legislation that will also criminalize bondo business. If you don't believe, say back then, they need to make them public. Our position here is simple. We are not even arguing whether these things should be done or not to be done, whether abortion good or not good. That is not what we're talking about. We are concerned that a group of politicians who have rigged an election, who have illegally commandeered the institutions of government in the country, who were protected in their rigging of the election by international organizations, international governments, including the U.S. Embassy, are now ganging up together with civil society organizations on the payroll of these embassies to smuggle through Parliament legislations that have wider implications for the general public of Sierra Leone. Laws that will legalize abortion and criminalize anyone who is opposed to abortion or who refuses to provide, if you are a healthcare professional, abortion services to anyone, to a patient who requests it. And a law that will also criminalize bondo business, and a law that will also change the electricity legislation to open up to protect rogue contracts that have already been signed for 25 years or more, and open up the landscape for more rogue corporations to come in and use our desire for electricity for accumulate wealth for themselves and impose debts on the country. We know we are dealing with an illegal regime, a group of politicians who took over the governance arrangement without the proper conduct of election, and an illegal regime that has been protected by foreign corporations and multinational companies and rogue diplomats, corrupt diplomats, who are also roped into these corrupt arrangements. A government that has sold the airport, a government that has sold our strategic assets in the country, a regime that has no legal basis. But even with its own legality, at least it cannot continue to destroy the Constitution. So one other thing we need to talk about before we go and sign off here is the fact that already the Law Officers Department is working on a constitutional amendment for smuggle the constitutional amendment. The white paper when it's signed by Kurumabi left, then try for recycle them again and do electoral changes and change the Constitution. We'll go talk about that in the next couple of days. But we just want to highlight these issues and set aside the differences between safe motherhood and abortion, and for tell una openly from Freetown to Makeni to Kono to Bo, Kenema, Puja, Kailaun, right across the country, put Loko and Cambia. If una not be known and not say una parliamentarian, una politician, then una mother be a minister, then they try for pass a law where they legalize abortion. They also plan for bring a law we go criminalize bondo business. They also plan for bring a law we go change the Electricity Act. All of these get implication for the economy and for the society. They have to be made public and debated and make the people and participate in any process of lawmaking and policy formulation. As always, my name is Cherno Alphaba, and me, the editor-in-chief of the Africanist Press. You've been listening to The Voice from Exile. See you next week. This is the Africanist Press podcast service,
Brought to you from the Northwestern University Library's vocal booth.
coming to you every weekend from the banks of Lake Michigan in Chicago
To the Manu River Basin in West Africa.
This podcast is sponsored by Northwestern University's Program of African Studies.
This podcast is about accountability
Gender equality.
youth empowerment.
Climate change.
and democracy.